As I did the ground, I had to beg your pardon. When I travel through the turn, I roll with the squadron. Row, like a dungeon dragon. Change your little jaws cause your pants are sagging. Try to step to this, I will twist you in a turban and have you smelling right like some old stale urine. Chuckity choco, the chocolate chicken, the rear cock diesel, my cheeks they were kicking. Yo, bust it out before the buster another round.
Welcome to Let's Read Comics, and today we are talking about Batman. So, for the new Batman Arkham City game, they revealed a variety of alternate costumes inspired by various things from the comics and various animated series. Now, the first one that they've got on offer is a Batman Beyond one. Now, if you grew up in the 90s as a kid, you might know what Batman Beyond is, but basically it was set in the future. It was a cartoon set in the future about a kid, Terry McGinnis, that Bruce Wayne, who's old and retired now, takes under his wing and trains to be the new Batman. And it was a pretty good show, but I don't know if it got cancelled or whatever, but it was pretty good. And there was a movie too, Return of the Joker, but the costume looks pretty cool. But an interesting thing about the costume for the game is that it might affect gameplay because it doesn't have a cape, so that means no gliding. Secondly, there's the Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns costume, which is based on originally Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns comic. There was a comic in the 80s which pretty much, broke a lot of serious ground. It's, for a lot of people, it's a starting point in comics, and it's very critically acclaimed. So if you're a beginner, read that, and if you're an old hand when it comes to comics, then you already know all about it. You don't really need me to tell you about it. But it's great. It's set in the future again, where Bruce Wayne is retired, but he takes up the cape again. And Frank Miller that wrote it, he's done other Batman stories that he says all take place in the same Dark Knight universe, including Batman Year One, which takes place in the the mainstream DC universe, but also in this Dark Knight universe. And also there's Dark Knight Strikes Again, which is a sequel to Dark Knight Returns, but it's well, in my opinion, it's not great, but you might enjoy it, so maybe you should check it out. And there's also All-Star Batman and Robin, which I actually really enjoy, but that gets a lot of negative reviews, so just try it, I suppose. Then there's the Batman Earth 1 costume, which is a comic that hasn't even come out yet. It was announced, I think about 2 years ago, that would come out and be written by Jeff Johns of Green Lantern fame, but the comic hasn't come out. But for some reason they've included a Earth 1 costume, so I guess that means that perhaps we'll actually be seeing the comic hit the stands soon. Then you've got the Neil Adams, well, 70s style Batman costume, popularised by Neil Adams, and he did some, when Danny O'Neill was writing Batman in the 70s, that was the costume, and it was a costume for a lot longer after that as well. It's got the blue cape and cowl, and it's pretty great, gotta say. Probably my favourite. And some good stories from that era are the Danny O'Neill, Ra's al Ghul, the original Ra's al Ghul stories. Batman villain played by Liam Neeson in Batman Begins, but they're pretty good. But also an interesting thing is, when you buy the game and you get the blue skin, or the blue cape and cowl Batman, it also comes with the Joker's Carnival. And in Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, part of that takes place at Joker's Carnival, and Batman has the blue cape and cowl, so I don't know if that's intentional or what's going on there. But it's pretty cool in my opinion. Then you've got one based on the way that Batman looked in the 90s, Batman the Animated Series, where he was voiced by Kevin Conroy, and Kevin Conroy actually voices Batman in this game as well, and that's pretty great too. A good comic based on the animated series is Mad Love. If you can ever find that, it's a cool Harley Quinn story. But really, if you haven't seen the original animated series from the 90s, check it out, because it is groundbreaking and it's astonishing. Three costumes that I wish that they would have done, even though I'm happy with the ones that they have done, are the Adam West costume, the Jean-Paul Valley costume, and the Batman of Zero-Narg costume. But since the other ones they've chosen to do are so awesome, it's alright that they didn't do those ones. So please comment or subscribe to the videos, or my videos.
And you can always follow me on Twitter. And you can always follow me on Twitter. And you can always follow me on Twitter. And you can always follow me on Twitter.